Hey guys, what's going on? This is Matt Wenning at winningstrength.com, and today we're going to talk about 5 exercises that will reduce much, if not all, of your problems. For a lot of people, they avoid these particular exercises or don't know about them, and then that causes a lot of problems down the road with posture muscles, joints hurting, joints aching, or even injury. But before we get to those, please like, subscribe, and comment, and then let's get to these exercises so that you can put them in your program. If you need help with programming, we have a couple of different options that we'll talk about at the end, but I want to get you guys this information first. The first exercise, and not often seen in normal gyms, is for shoulder rehab, posture, and just overall shoulder regeneration and recovery. I've seen a lot of people with a lot of different shoulder issues, especially in the fire department services, do this exercise and actually get a lot of shoulder relief, if not the pain completely go away. The exercise is called the Cuban press. Now we can do this in 2 different ways. I'm going to show you how to do it with a reverse incline for support. You can do these standing as well, but what I find for a lot of people is they tend to cheat as it gets more difficult or fatigue sets in. So what I like to do is do this exercise on a reverse incline to help with the balance and the coordination in the fatigue setting and the isolation of the exact muscle groups that we want to use. We want to use a lot of rear delts. We're going to be using the joint capsule as far as the supra and infraspinatus, the rotator cuff, and a lot of the smaller muscles that control the scapula and the shoulder positioning. Trust me when I tell you that you don't want these muscles having any issues if you're a presser, an overhead presser, or you work any kind of manual labor job or a fireman. So we put the Cuban press a lot in our Train Heroic workouts, and you'll see them occasionally in our Patreon workouts as well. Great exercise and amazing for sustaining, rehabbing, and even progressing the shoulder itself. The next exercise is not uncommon, but you don't see it done in this particular range of motion. Hanging scapular retractions. So this is the bottom end of a pull-up, but we're trying to only use the back muscles and not a lot of bicep. What you'll notice when people do pull-ups, and the reason that most people are not very good at pull-ups is because once their arms are cached, they can't do any more or do any pull-ups because they're trying to use only arms. Learning how to control and manipulate the back muscles is very important for not only increasing your pull-up amount, but also making sure you're using the right muscles when you're doing pull-ups. For a lot of people, I find that doing this with a V-bar first tends to be a little bit easier. And you can also go to a regular lat pull down machine if you need to lighten the weight and really focus on the area. So many people do not have control of these particular muscles. Therefore, it limits their pull-ups, it causes shoulder problems, and it decreases your ability to maintain your posture as you age. But trust me when I tell you that scapular retractions for shoulder mobility, thoracic, grip strength, etc., especially if we use fat handles, is also a good indicator for grip health. So we put this in a lot of the workouts as well. The next exercise, which can be done at home, and it's good for almost everybody. We use it a lot for mini workouts when applicable. We also do it for in-home training people that are on online coaching. The single leg glute bridge. The single leg glute bridge, in my opinion, is one of the best exercises you can do with no equipment. I do these a lot in the travel manual that we have on the website at winningstrength.com when I'm on my Harley-Davidson rides across the country, because let's face it, my butt is trashed after riding 10, 12 hours a day. But what I started to realize is if I did these for warm-ups, mini workouts, or put it in my over 50 workouts, which are really cheap on Patreon, I started to find that everybody started to stand up better, their deadlifts got better, their RDLs had less pain, their lower back pressure went down. A lot of different things happen when your glutes start to activate. So single leg glute bridges, in my opinion, is one of the best exercises that you can do with minimal to no equipment. So make sure those are in your programs as well. The next exercise that you don't see done a lot at the gym, and we actually just did these on the Train Heroic app tactical division, was crossbody cable rows. Now what I like about crossbody cable rows is the stretch. So when you're actually pulling across the body, it tends to get the lats, the subscapular muscles, and everything just a little bit more activated. So if you've never seen this type of row before, I strongly suggest you try it. But there's a couple of key tips that we want to do. We want to try to reduce or eliminate the torsion rotation. You want to try to just make sure that it's just all in your lat. A lot of people, they start to actually twist the spine when doing it. And because the load is this way and not compressive, I don't think that it's that harmful, but I don't know if it's that good to take that area out of the lat. So what I like to do is make sure that my body stays straight and I'm using the muscle groups that were intended to be used with the exercise. Now, if you have a tight mid, maybe even a lower back, sometimes the stretch can be beneficial. But what I would try to do is do it strictly first, make sure it doesn't cause any pain or discomfort, and watch your lat strength go way up and watch the V portion of your body really get better from doing these crossbody movements. The last exercise that I really wanted to talk about today, and we got to go back to the shoulders, because I find that for most people, the shoulder is usually a major cause of concern. And so what I find is that people, when they do pullovers, they tend to be very inflexible if they have shoulder problems. So doing pullovers with some form of weight is usually a great way to break up the serratus muscles, stretch the lats, and give the shoulder some relief from anterior shoulder rotation. So what I like to do to advance it a little bit is we'll lay on a Physio ball and do pullovers that way. Now, this causes a little bit more balance and coordination in the core, but I find that it gives me a little bit more of a stretch, and it's a little bit easier on my back because I'm not on a solid surface. I'm on kind of a cushy surface. So we do a lot of Physio ball dumbbell pullovers with the clients at the gym that maybe don't want to go as heavy on the pullovers, but want to get some shoulder relief. But I also find that it's very good for coordination in the core, the TVA or transverse abdominis. These are 5 exercises. They're not the only ones that I think are the best ones to do, but I find that you don't see these done very often. And so I wanted to get them out to you. Hopefully you get some relief on pain. If that starts to help you, great.
As a matter of fact, I'm on a strength training program from a world-class powerlifter, a world record-holding powerlifter, Matt Wenning.
Matt Wenning's the man. I have his belt squat. Not a bad plan.
And it's been a lot of fun training with so much structure and with so much focus on posterior chain. My glutes, my hamstrings, my low back is weaker than a f***ing kitten. It's embarrassing. So we're focusing on that. It's a well-rounded program.
Big thing about the posterior chain is if it's really strong, it just prevents a whole lot of different kinds of back injuries and leg injuries. And so if you have a really weak posterior chain, like that's a fucking problem. And you're going to want to rectify that by getting it stronger, especially if you're a physical person like Stone Cold is and doing a lot of physical stuff. Like you're going to want to lean into that shit. It's smart that he hired Matt Wenning for sure. Just generally a smart move to hire Matt Wenning.
I'm on Do For Me. I'm in the 3rd week. It's a 12-week process.
Periodization. It's nice.